watching my YouTube channel Techno Ranjay, and today in this video, the Java tutorial series, we will be going to discuss about the static keyword. So in this video we will discuss about the static keyword, static methods and static block. So all the static things we will going to discuss in this video. Basically, the first of all, we can say that the static is a non-access modifier. Non-access modifier is basically what is access modifier, as a private product. So this is actually the access modifier. So in the category of non-access modifier, Java has kept this static as a non-access modifier, and static is basically used to save the memory. In order to saving your memory is used by static keyword. Okay, so static is basically you do not have to create any object. So for creating any object you have to occupy some space in the heap memory. So without creating any object, so static says that you don't need to create any object in order to call the static variable or methods. So there is a saving of the memory in the heap. Okay, so let's go and start the static keyword. So if we have integer, first point is that if we have integer a is equal to 8, we have defined. So this is the instant variable. So we have declared this instance variable, and in the method, this is actually the static method. So if we want to call this instance variable, okay, so let's go and call this a. When you put this a inside this static method, so what it is saying, that cannot make a static reference to the non-static field. So you cannot use or access the non-static variable inside this static method. So in order to access this variable, what you will have to do, you need to make this variable as a static. Okay. So when you make this variable static, then it can be called. And see, after making this static variable, this is actually saying that you can access this. And when you save this and just go and run this application, so let's go and run from here, run as Java application, you will get a answer as a 8. So we have got this. So static, this is the first point, that is static variable, non-static variable cannot be called in the static method. Okay, so this is one thing. Okay, now one of the suppose that we will discuss about the static void main. Okay, we have this main method here, and this method is actually a static method. Okay, so we have discussed about the static variable. Now this is static method. Okay, so in order to we want to print this, hi, I am a static method. So what you will have to do is simply, if you have a method, you need to create an object in the main method. But the static says that you don't need to create a object for a static method. You can call this method with the help of the class name. So what you will have to do is static one, this is the class name of this particular, and when you put this dot, this is showing that you can call a main method, and see, this is what and when you save this and run this application, you will get the answer as a, this is output that hi, I am a studying method. So this is, now one thing also, that within a class, if the static method is present and the main method is also present, then without taking the help of the static dot main, you can also call it by main. Okay, so when you save this and run this, you will get the output. So within the class, suppose we have a class ABC here, and when if any method is present, suppose we have a method static void show. Okay, we have this static method is present in another class, this is the different class, and if you want to print here hello world, suppose we have to call this method, this is the static method and this is the different class. Now if you want to call this, what you will have to do, since this is the static method, so you, if you write this show in this method, it will show error because this is not present in the present in the same class. So what you need to do, you write the ABC class name dot show. Okay, and then you, when you call this, sorry, save this, and when you call this, you will get the output as a hello world. So outside the class, you must have to define the class name, and inside the same class, you can take the help of the class name, or without class name you can also call the static method. So these 2 points are important in this static method. Okay, so let's go and take the another example. So we have discussed two methods, that static variable cannot be called in the non-static variable cannot be called in the static method, and the another is static method is directly called in the main method without creating any object. So these are the two important things I want to discuss in this. Now let's take another example, the important example. Okay, so we have this class as here, and here let's change employee class. Okay, we have this employee class is present. Now inside the employee class, suppose that we have integer id, we have taken the integer id, string name, so we are defining this id and name, and another is company. Okay, so string company. So this is another example, the important one. This can save the memory also. This is the example where you see that how the static method can save your memory. Okay, so here we have taken the three variables, instance variable. Now we have suppose we have void show method. If we have taken this method is present here, and in this method what you will have to do, you print here id. Okay, concatenate this, make this. Okay, and id second is Now when you take this, okay, and here we write company. Okay, I want to print these things. Now we have defined this as an instant, and I want to create a constructor. So how you can create a constructor of the class? That you just here write employee, make the constructor, block it. Okay, so this is what, and in order to take the constructor, what you this is called the parametric constructor, and here we will define int id. Okay, here string name and string company. Okay, so this is called the local variable, and this is called the instance variable. So in the same class we have created the parametric constructor, and this, in order to call this local variable, what you will have to do, you need to take the help of the this keyword. So this dot id and is equal to here also id, and just save this. Okay, this dot name is equal to name. So we are calling this instance variable and putting this value of the local variable inside this. So when you call the um, when you call this method, whatever will be the value, it will goes inside the local variable and it will print this. So let's see how it works. So this dot company. Okay, so we have defined this is equal to company. Now we have created the parametric constructor also. We have this method also. So if you want to print, you need to create the object employee. Suppose employee is emp1 is equal to new emp, and now in this constructor you write what is the first is 1, and suppose this is 1 Ranjay, and this should be inside the, this is the string variable, so you write this in the double quotes, and then you need to provide the company name. So I will write this as a Techno. Okay, so we have created a one object. So employee 1 have the one object. Suppose you want to print the same, emp2 is equal to new emp, and in the constructor you write the second detail. Okay, so here Raj, suppose this is the name. Okay, and the company name is also Techno. So we have provided all the information here. So see, this is the main method. We have created the object of the main method, and we have provided the parameter for the employee 1 and 2, and it will, when we create the object, it will directly calls the constructor of this class. So we have created the object of this emp class, so it will call the constructor, and in this constructor, with the help of this method we have created, we have defined this keyword it will goes in this local variable, and it will provide this dot. This is the instant variable it will provide. And now when it will goes to the local variable, and through the local variable it will provide the value to the instant variable, and when you print this inside the method, it will give you result. So what you will have to do, you just save this, and after saving, just run this application we have created. Sorry, what one thing also, you need to call emp1 dot. Okay, so we have show method, so you just call this show method, and emp2 dot show method, and now we have completed whole process. Just click this, and when you click, you will get the result as first employee ID is 1, name is Ranjay, and Techno, the company name is same in both the case. Now here the main thing of the static comes here. What you will have to do, that in this both the employee, the company name is same, then why you are creating all these things inside this? What you will need to do, in the instance variable, you make the instant variable static. When you keep this static, you don't need to provide here all these things, and you just remove this. Okay, and here when you define this static company, you need to provide the company name here. Okay, when you save this, here what you will have to do, here also you just remove the company name from here. Now we have given the main detail, the employee ID and name, and the company for both the employee are same, so we have make the company as a static. And after saving this, we just run this application. When you run, see, we have defined a static company, so in both the cases the company name is similar. So this can save your memory in order to creating the object for the company for both the employee, or if you have 100 employees are present. So when you create an object for the 100 employee, it will occupy more space in the heap. So when you provide the static, it will automatically take that variable instead of creating the object inside the heap. So this is the important method I want to discuss in this. So we have taken all three things. One thing also I want to include, so let's take some examples of a static block. Okay, so what is a static block actually? Suppose we have a static here. So now we are discussing the static block. So we have a static within a class, we have a static block. Static block is basically defined in this type that you need to, and here if I want to print something, I'm a static block. So if you print here hello world and save this, so what it says, that if you have a static block, you don't need to call that block, or you don't need to create any type of object for that. Static block automatically runs, and the priority of the static block comes first. Means before running to the main method, before printing anything, before implementation of any of the method present in the main method, static block run first. So, and if we have more than one or two or three static block, firstly you will get the output from the static block, then only you will get the output from the main method. So let's go and run this application. Okay, so when you run this application, you will get the first is I'm a static block and then the hello world. So this is actually a static, does not require any main method, but you must have to declare the main method inside the class. If you have this main method, then only the static method will run. So this is the important point, that the static block run first. Suppose we have another static block is present here, and suppose we have, sorry, another one is static block, and save this. And when you run this application, see the sequence matters in the static block. First block execute firstly, and then the second and then the main method runs. So this is the important in this static. So we have learned a static variable, we have learned a static method, and now we have also discussed about the memory saving of the static, and now this is the static block. So we have cleared all the 3-4 things in the static. So this video is all about the static method variables, and you have a block. So please write the comment if you like this video. If you have learned something from this video, please put a like, comment and share this video. And if you have to watch the full video, we have a playlist is present in this. And one thing also, if you are new, please subscribe our channel for future updates, press the bell icon for this. So for the time being, thanks for watching.